This week's best MMA bets, we're talking UFC 315. I'm going to give you guys my lock of the week, my most confident picks on the card. We'll talk favorite underdogs, Degen Props of the night, and then close the show out with the parlays. So make sure you guys smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe, turn the post notifications on, and make sure you share the video too. Last week was fantastic. Kwang Lee kept the savage dog lock streak out the last 10 looking good. All right? 7 out of 10. It broke a little bad luck we had with a couple cards. It brought the thunder right back into me. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling like a savage now. I'm feeling good. I'm excited for this card too. Now, Kwang Lee pulled off a dominant win, a destructive W, quickly subbed up. I guess not super quick, but subbed up Gaston Bolaños and looked good on the feet, man. I knew he could touch him with the hands. The boxing of Lee looked better, and the grappling for Lee was no match, all right? Bolaños had nothing for him on the ground. He got handled. So that brings me to 7 out of 10 on this show's Savage Dog Lock of the Week. So at a 70% clip on this show, I'm feeling very confident, very excited. Overall, I'm feeling like a W's incoming this Saturday. So you guys know I'm bringing the heat again, another Savage Dog Lock. The Wednesday Savage Dog Lock's been thunderous, all right? So we're going to jump into it, all right? Without further ado, the lock of the week.
Charles Chuck Buffalo Radtke!
Charles Radtke, Savage Dog Lock for UFC 315. Listen, some of you guys who tuned into Monday's live stream know I had been thinking about Ji-Yoon Lee, but the line completely flipped. And I'm like, wow, I'm going to give out a minus tag. I'm giving favorite status as a Savage Dog Lock. I would feel like a liar. Yeah, it was plus 105 when I was thinking about locking it and plus 120 when I picked it. But if you're trying to play it now, it's minus 110. So I said, no, we're going to reset it. And we're going to go with the true savage of the card, not somebody cowering down and wilting in a back and forth brawl with Hyder and Mill. Instead, we're going with Charles Radtke, America's own. We're going savage mode USA in this hoe. You think that Charles Radtke is getting ran down and ran through by Mike Malott? You think Radtke can't sit in the pocket and crack him? Mike Malott, where's he going to beat him? Where's he going to beat him? I mean, technical striking, leg kicks, movement, staying away from Radtke's power. Just 3 rounds of technical, tactical point fighting, right? But Radtke's not going to sit there and let you just chop him apart. Radtke's going to look to close the gap and throw thunderous power bombs with his hands, okay? Charles Radtke's got heavy hooks, dangerous fighting inside of the pocket. And I think that he can crack Mike Malott with some big thunderous punches. I think that Mike Malott is a difficult task to deal with because of his overall skill set. But I don't think that he's hyper elite. And I think that Radtke's right at his level. And I think personally, he's beyond his level. I see Radtke as the more dangerous fighter. I don't think Mike Malott looked great against Trevin Giles. I mean, he looked tactical. He looked technical. He was able to pick his shots well. But Radtke's not coming to win a technical kickboxing match. He's coming to fuck you up. And Radtke is also underrated on the mat. He's got a strong grappling game too. Now, obviously, you can look at Radtke's one bad loss. Carlos Prates knocked him out. The knee to the body put him away. It was a thunderous knee to the body that's dropping pretty much every welterweight on the roster. Mike Malott got finished off by Neil Magny after winning the fight early. I'll give him credit. But I think Charles Radtke is a very live underdog on this card. And I'm going with him at, the plus 145 to plus 160 range. I think Radtke's coming to win this fight. I think he's going to come in his best shape ever. Obviously, even's got the champ Barriault hyping him up. He's going to be relentless, and I'm not sold on Mike Malott. I think his wins are at best. It's not like he's beaten any hyper elite guys. Not saying that Radtke has either, to be fair. But I think Radtke's better than people are giving him credit. And I think that you're going to find out he has more than just punching power. He definitely has punching power, but he knows how to fight in every aspect of the game. And I'd say he's efficient everywhere, on top of having that fucking dog in him that I look for in the Savage Dog Locks, which leads me to another point why I left Ji-Yoon Lee off. I do have a worry that is the dog not as much in him. Willie Cat versus Korean Tiger. Now, you guys know if you tuned in Monday, and some of you guys may have bet it. I'm not saying that Ji-Yoon Lee isn't a pick. I'm absolutely on Ji-Yoon Lee, and I think he's winning as a close money line now. But he wouldn't be a Wednesday Savage Dog Lock if I locked him at minus 110. So instead, we're going Charles Radtke, a true underdog that you can still get plus money on as opposed to Chase and Lee. But we'll talk a little bit about Ji Yoon Lee in that matchup. I guess I can sneak him into, an underdog section, even though he's even money now. But Charles Radtke is going to be the focus. I believe that we're going to see Malott try and be tactical, but Radtke will probably force a bit more of a high-paced fight. I think Radtke can catch Malott with some thunderous punches. I think if they engage in grappling, Radtke's physicality and strength will overpower and even potentially out-technique what Mike Malott has bringing to the table. I think that Radtke's going to look pretty good. And I think he gets a nice win for himself in Canada against, the Canadian prospect that got pretty exposed as he took on Neil Magny. I think this is a really winnable fight for Radtke where he really can get his name a little more on the mainstream. His power in his hands is second to none, and I think he could definitely be the one doing more damage against Mike Malott. So we're going Charles Radtke as the savage dog because I'm feeling like a savage, all right? Let's go to the next section. Let's talk about some of my most confident picks on the card. All right, so first up, we'll bring them on screen. Bekzat Almakhan. I really believe Bekzat. I don't want to say he's going to toy with Brad Katona, but I think he's going to tune Brad Katona up. Bekzat's going to look good in the striking. He's got nice kicks from the outside. He's long. I feel like he's more powerful by a fair margin than Brad Katona. And on top of that, I do think Almakhan can be better in the wrestling exchanges too. I could see Almakhan taking Katona down. I could see him having some success. Not saying he's ground and pound finishing him, but I think he can time some key takedowns. And I think he can also land some big shots on the feet. Brad Katona may have a boxing background, but he is not a heavy hitter. Brad Katona doesn't have a lot of power in his hands. He's more of a peppering puncher, whereas on the opposite side, you have thunderous, maybe not thunderous, I'm reaching a bit, but you have legit power, enough power to put Umar Nurmagomedov down. And I think regardless of how that fight ended, you have to give credit where it's due for Bekzat landing such a big shot on a guy that's elite. I believe that Brad Katona is just too average, whereas Almakhan has top 15 potential. Katona does not. Bekzat Almakhan is a good pick in this matchup and confident pick for me. Now, as far as the betting lines on this fight, Almakhan is around minus 165, which is a great tag. I think he's close enough money to parlay up. Some of you that are looking for a wider money line that you want to chase, I don't think you're nuts for it. Am I going to go chasing a prop on this one? No. I do think that you have to lean towards Bekzat on the judges' scorecards, though he's got a lot of finishing ability. Simply put, because Brad Katona historically is pretty durable, and I think he can take some thunderous shots, and, he gets outworked. So plus 120 is decision. That's the official pick. I think Almakhan is taking it on the judges' scorecards. Do I want to see a knockout? Hell yes. Do I think it's likely that he knocks out Brad Katona? No, I don't. I think more likely he'll outwork Brad, outland Brad, and take him on the judges' scorecard. So Bekzat Almakhan in the most confident picks. Next one, Natalia Silva. Yes, I'm throwing a ladies fight in there, and I think it's the passing of the torch. Former champ Alexa Grasso versus Natalia Silva. I love this fight at a full-sized cage, right? Like in the real big venue. Let me explain further. Jessica Andrade and Natalia Silva fought at the Apex, and Natalia still was able to stay moving and outpoint Jessica Andrade. But in the bigger cage, it favors the style of Natalia Silva even more because she's one of those fighters that uses space extremely well. She strikes well from distance, has very good kicks, very good side kicks, spin kicks to the body, very fast, snappy shots with her hands too. And good flurrying shots, definitely a counter-striking ability. But her lateral movement is pretty damn nice, and her footwork is on point too. And I think she's going to be hard to track down. I see Alexa Grasso chasing Natalia Silva a lot in this fight, and I think that she's going to be getting technically outstruck for the 3 rounds. Now, I could see Alexa Grasso trying to wrestle. I have a feeling that she's going to because with more of her boxing-based striking game, I think she's going to be too far out of range and a tad bit too slow to land significant blows to the head of Natalia Silva. So Grasso engaging in grappling is going to be interesting, but Natalia Silva's hips are on point. Her takedown defense is certainly there. Knees to the body, right? Ability to create space and then back on the lateral movement. I see Grasso getting tuned up for 3 rounds. I think she gets technically outstruck. I think she struggles getting this fight to the mat. Could even see Natalia Silva ending up on top of Grasso because let's be real, Shevchenko showed that Grasso takedown defense can be exploited. As good as Shevchenko is, Grasso was constantly taking down. I can't see the Alexa Grasso that just fought against Valentina Shevchenko beating a prospect like Natalia Silva. I think Silva is on her way to contendership. I think she wins this fight. Minus 255, confident call for sure. And I think she wins a decision as well. Decision win for Natalia is minus 150. No fun on that. Money line is minus 255. I think Natalia Silva, though, is a quality parlay piece. A ladies' fight that I feel confidence in. Simply put, Natalia Silva is a proven performer with good wins on the resume. And in the big cage, things are even better. Give her the full-size octagon. I think she's going to shine. And I feel like she's going to look really good here against Alexa Grasso and get a dominant win. So shout out to her. Shout out to Natalia Silva. Next up, we got Benoit Saint-Denis. BSD at minus 900. Let's have some fun, guys. We have a minus 900 tag for Benoit Saint-Denis. Wow, the value's great. Obviously, it's a joke. Yeah, he should fuck Kyle Prepolek up. And if he doesn't, oh my God, what an upset that would be. Prepolek coming in on super short notice here. I mean, give him credit. He's a southpaw. He's got some combination strikes. He's got a bit of power. He's okay. Hasn't fought anybody good in a long time. 4-1 in his last 5. Was released from the UFC in like 2019. He lost to Nordine Taleb and Austin Hubbard. Benoit Saint-Denis is also a monster. And like people forget that he was fucking up Dustin Poirier in their fight. And they forget that he was coming on strong against Money Moicano too, man. Yes, the Alvarez fight was a horrible matchup for BSD. But Prepolek, wow, softball, home run hit. This is Benoit Saint-Denis. Domination, destruction, probably first round finish all day. I think he's going to overwhelm Prepolek, and I think he's going to finish him on the ground with big shots. I'm going Saint-Denis. I'm going finish. I think this fight ends in the first. Most likely ends in the first, I will say. If it goes to the second round, that's a win in itself for Prepolek here, who just hasn't fought near the competition of what BSD is. And I think BSD can look better than ever before. You know, he's only 29 years of age, man. Prepolek's 35 years old, coming into the UFC for a second time after starting off 0-2. This is a tune-up fight and a half for the side of BSD. Supposedly BSD turned down Gamrot, but I mean, not a bad idea. Turn down Gamrot and then get a tune-up fight. You're only 29. Fuck it. I don't think that's crazy. So shout out BSD. Dominant victory incoming. And yeah, those are some confident calls. Now we got more, okay? That's not all she wrote, all right? We have none other than the great and powerful Jose Aldo by a decision. I think he wins this thing by a decision. Minus 192, Jose Aldo. I understand people are worried about Aldo. He had Finchman talking about his birth certificate, and he could be 45. He's 38 years old, as far as I'm concerned. Is it prime Jose Aldo? No. But is Amin Zahabi really that good? Zahabi's going to beat Aldo, even a 38-year-old Aldo? I don't think so. I think Jose Aldo wins in a competitive striking affair with Amin Zahabi. I still think Aldo's a bit faster. I think Aldo has more tools. And I think Aldo will land the bigger and better shots throughout the fight. Expect him to work the body a bit with the way Zahabi stands, kind of that tucked up high guard. I could see Jose Aldo having some success with combinations down below. And I think that Jose Aldo is going to get a comeback win here against Amin Zahabi. I know he's coming off that close loss to Batista that people shit on, but he could have won that fight. Batista just held him. Zahabi's not going to have the same abilities of holding Jose Aldo against the cage. Amin Zahabi is going to be forced into a kickboxing match. And I think that Jose Aldo is sharper in striking. I think he's going to have a speed advantage. Even at 38, it's not like Zahabi's 27. He's 37. And I think Jose Aldo, with a nice performance, is going to get a badass win in this fight. Over 2.5, minus 370. I feel like that probably hits. Decision win for Aldo, minus 130. But I will pray for a KO. So plus 500, maybe a little Degen prop. Yeah, Aldo by decision, though, has been his bread and butter at 135 pounds. He's yet to get a finish at 135. Zahabi's a game customer. He's tough. He's gritty. Zahabi can box a bit. Zahabi will survive, but Aldo will outpoint him. And if you look at Zahabi's wins, like beat the washed Pedro Munoz, you know, beat the Javid Basharat. Yeah, it was a fraud check, but then Basharat got knocked out in the first round by Ricky Simone. I don't think Amin Zahabi is quite this level. Even an aging Jose Aldo, I think still is able to beat a guy like Amin Zahabi. So going Aldo as a confident pick. And come on, bro. I think I'm feeling pretty good about it, all right? Jose Aldo to go out there, look good, win the fight, land some more significant shots. It'll be a competitive back and forth, okay? There'll be moments for both fighters. I don't think it's an absolute washout, but ultimately, I feel the side of Jose Aldo finding some success. Now, I want to bring one special edition. I want to bring one more high likely W to the table. Now, I am going to bring it up now. Okay. You see it on the screen. You see who it is. You agree with it? Am I crazy for thinking it? Or is it a real possibility? Or is it probable? Is it highly probable? We got Ji-Yoon Lee on the slate. Now, of course, this was a candidate for the Savage Dog Lock, but now he's a favorite, man. So I'm going to put him in a most confident pick, honorable mention with an asterisk on it. Is it a most confident pick if the tag is minus 250? No. Is it the same level of confidence I have on some of these bigger favorites? Absolutely not. But do I believe that Ji-Yoon Lee has a real chance to beat a guy in Willie Cat who I think has some issues up top, who lacks consistency? Look at how many fights he's had over the past while, right? I would say might be a worthwhile money line. If you're not getting at plus money, which now you're not, it's kind of frustrating and you're going to be disappointed. It's way better as an underdog tag. But if it's, about even money and you're like, yo, I want to throw a little money line tag down, maybe you're lined up with my Savage Dog Lock and you're like, yo, I really liked when you mentioned Lee on Monday, but I forgot to bet him and I didn't get him as a dog. I'm not trying to say that he isn't a Savage Dog potential, right? If he's plus 110, it's a great Savage Dog Lock. But I give out my pick Wednesday officially. I'm not going to give you guys a favorite tag just because it was, an underdog when I originally made the call. So we're going Ji-Yoon Lee as a part of the most confident picks. I do want to jump to the favorite underdog section, which at this point has been completely nerfed. Because if you look, I got, even money line here, Savage Dog, but a close money again, almost even money underdog that I do think can hit. Let's jump to him. Modestas Bukauskas. I think Modestas Bukauskas is going to win. I felt like he was going to beat Iwan Cutelaba before they booked the damn fight, man. I remember after both of their last fights, they fought on the same card. I said, I like them fighting one another. And I think Modestas Bukauskas is better at striking, and Cutelaba's wrestling is a tad bit overrated. He does have takedown threats, but it's not elite caliber. It's not like he doesn't get taken down too. It's not like he went to a decision with Ivan Erslan and lost that third round, right? He did. Modestas Bukauskas' hands are coming along. He's pretty accurate. See him do backflips after fights. Modestas Bukauskas is very athletic, man. And I'm not sold on this resurgence of Iwan Cutelaba. I'm more sold on Modestas Bukauskas' resurgence. And Modestas Bukauskas actually making significant strides in his fighting career and working towards an upper level, training alongside Tom Aspinall. I think that Modestas has a pretty good chance to beat Cutelaba. There's a chance for a knockout as well. Modestas coming off back-to-back finishes, but we've seen both of these guys go distance before, and I could see Bukauskas outworking Cutelaba, dealing with the wrestling threat, landing bigger shots on the feet. Cutelaba still having moments and controlling him a bit against the cage, but then Bukauskas creating space, finding shots, and then winning a nitty-gritty decision. But either way, I think Modestas Bukauskas is a very live call. It's not a great money line at, minus 108. It's not like making me jump up and down and say, yo, look at the plus money, because it's not. But I do think Bukauskas wins this fight, and I think he's possibly live to maybe for the value, right? If you want to chase something with a prop, does he win a decision? Cutelaba stays in it for 3 hard, and you get it at like 3-1, maybe. I don't love it, though. I don't love it. I want to see a knockout at plus 265. So I'm really not crazy about prop betting this fight. There's one tag in the section of extras that you can play with this matchup that I'll bring up in the Degen Props section. But overall, Bukauskas down the center is, I think, a confident call and a favorite dog, even though it's even money dog at this point. But I do think Modestas Bukauskas for the W, pretty damn live come Saturday. Now, I do want to talk about some of the Degen props of the night. Of course, if you tune into the show often, not every call I'm about to tell you is a degenerate call, but I want to start from where we left off. We were just talking about Modestas Bukauskas. Over 1.5 at minus 140 is a head scratcher. I'm like, I feel as though both guys being dangerous, they could be a bit modest early in the fight and, I don't know, take their time, finding shots against one another. So I like the chance of this fight going past the, 7.5 minute mark. I think the over 1.5 at minus 140 is pretty live. And I'm going to predict that, Modestas Bukauskas is the winner. Could he get a knockout? Absolutely a possibility. Could it be a later stage finish? Absolutely. Is Bukauskas, I think, just better than Cutelaba? I do. So the money line is perfect. But if you want to go for an over, maybe it's calling your name, minus 140 for the over, doesn't seem crazy. Next up, Aldo and Zahabi's over 2.5. I mean, this seems probable. Minus 370 is an ugly tag, but the likelihood of success is relatively high for the fight. And I think that Aldo is going to outstrike Zahabi in competitive fashion over the 3 rounds. So I feel like over 2.5 makes a lot of sense there. Now, the next one is more of a Degen call. Now, it's a heart pick. It's not a head pick. My official prediction was Barriault by decision, but I'll be damned if I just let Jack Della by KO slip through my fingertips. Plus 325, maybe a small bet on that because I do think Jack Della could pull off the knockout against Barriault, and I feel like betting wise, I'd rather go for the plus money a little bit on a KO prop as opposed to betting Barriault. Though I think he wins a decision, I'm picking him to outwork Jack Della. Jack Della definitely could have the moment and knock him out in a fight that's like arguments on both sides. So I like that KO prop. That KO prop calls my name a bit. The Benoit Saint-Denis under 1.5 rounds at -175. I do think that's going under a round and a half. I think you could go BSD KO. I actually don't see the odds for that at the moment. Let's see if I can find them anywhere. If they're not available, I don't even really need to read the tag off. BSD by KO is probably not going to have a great line. But ultimately, I do think BSD by KO is live. We'll talk about the props more in this fight come Friday for the weigh-in show because nothing's been, fully released yet. At least I can't find the full prop selection. And then to close it out, the one at the top, we're going Chuck Buffalo, Charles Radtke. I do think he gets the knockout here, or possibly gets the knockout at plus 350. I see him catch him a lot with some thunderous punches. Now, could he end up going out and win a decision? Definitely possible. That's why I like the money line as a Savage Dog lock. But I do think our Savage Dog is live for a KO, and that's why I like the pick even more so. And he does have good submissions too. So a very well-versed game and also a Savage mentality. And one more that I'm actually going to add in real quick. Natalia Silva by decision, but the odds suck for it. It's -150, but the confidence is relatively high that she's getting it on the scorecards. And I do think that fight also goes over 2.5, which is around -415, to bring a few more selections to your attention. All right? Listen, guys, hit the like button if you're enjoying. If you're new to the channel, make sure you're subscribing it up. Let's jump to the parlay section. Okay? We got the parlays on deck. I'm excited about these parlays. Okay? I'm feeling real good about them. I feel like we got some savage calls on this card. Now, at the top, we got Beksat Almakhan, who I think outworks the side of Brad Katona. And we have Benoit Saint-Denis, -127. I feel like this is a good safe play, and I think this is a pretty likely safe play to come through and hit. At -127, it's not the greatest value ever, but I do think it's two picks that absolutely slap. Now, to add a little more heat to it, you can go Natalia Silva, Benoit Saint-Denis, and the Aldo Zahabi over, +100. Look, that's pretty safe for +100. I think it does double your money. Keep going down. Live call, Silva and Almakhan, +125 for Natalia Silva and Beksat. Two confident calls that I think do come to fruition. Now, to keep going down, a little big 3 action. Almakhan with Benoit Saint-Denis and Aldo and Zahabi over 2.5 rounds. So +129 for the big 3. But I know you guys want bigger plus money than that. But hold on, hold your horses. The double A, Almakhan and Aldo at +141. I feel pretty good about them. I'm a solid bantamweight picker, bro. We had the Savage Dog last week, was a bantamweight. Now, if you want to go for bigger plus money, nearly 3-1, you have Aldo and Radtke, who I do think come through. If you want to go Ji-Yoon Lee, who was, definitely a contender for the Savage Dog when he was plus money, and Radtke, the Savage Dog, this is a Savage Dog parlay, +396. Now, if you want to go the Savage 3, you go Lee, Bukauskas, and Almakhan. If you want to leave the Savage Dog lock off, you want closer money calls, nearly +500 there, +499. Keep on moving. Bum, 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 bum. Lee, Aldo, Almakhan, and Silva. +546. I feel like that's a solid 4. I feel like that's a Savage 4. I think that's a thunderous 4. And at +546, it seems pretty likely that those 4 hit. I like the chances of it, man. Now, an animalistic play would be Radtke, Silva, Aldo, Almakhan, and Benoit Saint-Denis at +859. But tell me you don't look at that and say, shit, I think that hits. +859. Then if you want to go Lee, Radtke, and Bukauskas for a little 3-dog play, even though now they're no longer dogs, all of them, just Radtke and Bukauskas, +869 for that Savage call. Now, to keep moving down, there's a Degen call of Lee, Almakhan, Silva, Aldo, Benoit Saint-Denis, and Modestas Bukauskas at +1301. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Now, the next one, I like it too. Radtke, Silva, Aldo, Almakhan, BSD, and Bukauskas at +1772 for a Degen beastly call. And then if you want to go Savage Degen, you add Lee to it with the other slew of Savages plus 3,544. Now, if you're worried about Jose Aldo, I know some will be. You can remove him from the plays. You're still going to be over that plus 1,000 territory for a lot of them, and you're still going to be very likely to cash some Savage parlays, man. I'm liking the look of these parlays. I'm liking where my head's at this week. We'll see post weigh-in if I want to add anything, but definitely the early intuition on a Wednesday is telling me these are some awesome calls to make. Now, I will tell you guys, I say it every week and I have to keep saying it. Don't blindly tail. Do your own research. If you're actually betting down substantial capital, you should be doing your research and seeing where it lines up with mine to double your confidence level on your calls that you've already made. Okay? So that is just my word of advice to the folks. If you actually are gambling in this shit, you should also be doing research and seeing where we line up as opposed to just blindly tailing. But if you want to blindly tail, listen, the risk is yours. I feel pretty damn good. 7 out of 10 on the Savage Dogs on this show. Like, the Wednesday show is pretty fucking money. The calls are good, and I see some success coming on Saturday. But, like, you know, I have to throw a respectable air of caution out to people. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this Savage episode of this week's Best MMA Bets. I'm feeling really good about UFC 315. I think you can tell with the way I'm jittering around this shit. Make sure you all smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe it up. And, yo, turn the post notifications on. You don't want to miss a video or live stream. I got content every single day. Let me know in the comments what you think of the Savage Dog Lock. Are you disappointed? Do you wish I just would have went Ji-Yoon Lee, even though he's a favorite now? Or are you like, no, AJ, I appreciate you for always hunting that plus money. Let me know if you're going Savage Mode USA in this hoe and you're riding with the side of Radtke in Canada with your boy, because I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your Savage Dog Lock. Drop some of your favorite bets on the card down in the comments. I want to see what the community is thinking, all right? And if you have nothing to say in the comments, but you just enjoy the content, as always, W in the chat to boost the algorithm for your boy. I love all you Savages. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting. Big W's to everybody who's supporting the community. I love my people. And 315 coming at you with thunder. Make sure you tune into the Fight Companion on Saturday. I'll be live for the whole card. Come watch this shit with me, and let's see how it all unfolds, man. Much love, people. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.